Okay, welcome to Cooking Beats with M43. Today I am experimenting with Midi from New Nation Audio. Some of these drum samples are from New Nation as well. I've gone ahead and prepared a few things. I've dragged some Midi in here from New Nation. I have made a kick in Punchbox by D16. Got a couple of things laid out here, sort of ready to go, just so that I'm not fumbling around too much while we're producing, trying to find sounds for your walls. So yeah, let's get to it. This is what we got so far. So I've dragged the Midi from New Nation. I have then taken more of that Midi over here and duplicated it with a slightly different sound. Both within Tape X, Piano by Thenaton. So there we go. This is the melody at this point. A little bit deep, a little bit emotional. This here is just sort of a support melody, this one here. So that's a lot quieter. When we come down to the drop later on, once we've got some sub bass going, we're going to need to cut the low end out of that. But for now, I guess if we build something of a intro to the beat, and we'll start doing some processing. I haven't done any processing on anything yet. I've just assigned everything to a mixer channel in here so that you guys can get an idea for my processing. If anyone wants me to get more into depth about actually using the generators to make these sounds, let me know. Today I've just prepared a few things in advance just so that the live stream aspect of things runs a bit sooner. So I'm kind of wanting to make that melody dance a little bit. We're just going to try and make it a little bit more exciting. So one thing I do like to do is, this is Vibes, also by Thenaton. I'm a big Thenaton fan, as you'll learn. If you've got a tool like this that will manipulate panning, there are lots that do it. I like to do it in here. There are lots of ways to do it. You can do it without a plugin as well. You can just automate panning. But I find that to be a bit more tedious. So over here in Motion, I'm going to make that a little bit wider, and we're going to pan it. Probably we'll try 1/8 triplets at this point and increase the amount of panning that plays through. See how this sounds. If anyone's on headphones, let me know. So as you can see over here where my mouse is, you can start to see that dance a little bit in the stereo field. And if you listen on headphones, you'll hear that melody coming in and out of the left and right slightly. Little bit of New York compression. That's starting to sound pretty warm, which is what we're going for here. If the melody is already quite dark and dramatic in itself, it's a nice starting point for darker kind of beats, because no matter what you do to the processing, it's probably always a melody written like that's probably always going to have a dark tonality to it. So we're not trying to add a lot, we're just trying to accentuate what currently exists. Later on, actually, we'll most likely do something of an LFO to it through a gating tool like this. So just a rough example of how that would sound. Well, actually, to be honest, we'll most likely use that in the drop. So I'll turn that off for now. I just want a bit more space and colour. Oh, this is sounding lush. This melody is sounding nice at this point. So that's gonna dance. Like I like to get a melody dancing before you add drums to it, because drums will typically be very mono. So if we got some stereo space happening on the melody, it's gonna have a constant movement. I'm wondering, in the spirit of making this sound warm, what we might be able to do with a little bit of tape manipulation. I'm excited to use this one here, Cymatics Origin, because I haven't actually used it yet. So, what have we got? Saturation, we'll leave a little bit of it on. But resample frequencies over here. Movement, we'll keep the movement off because we've already done some movement. Reel to reel and chorus. I don't know. See how it sounds. Okay, I see what's happening. Okay, so that's brightening things up a bit. You know what we're going to need? We're going to need a choir. Some sort of choir. Let me have a look. We'll take these notes. We'll bring them over here. Probably get rid of the second notes. What's that sound like? Very quiet, too low. Too low. Not enough velocity. That's what we needed. A bit more of that. Send that over here. I'm not interested in any of the low end in that, so do a sharp high pass. And I'm quite interested in this 7K sort of mark here. Bring up the brightness a bit, 7K. I wouldn't mind seeing what an LFO might do on that as well. So if we have the depth about halfway, LFO rate, not sure if that's tempo sync or not. We'll try it around there. See how we go. Not like that. Not like that at all. Too slow of a rate, I think. See there, it's nice and subtle there. You wouldn't. It's one of those things. The beautiful subtleties in beats is the things that you wouldn't even notice. And this is a perfect example here. That slight LFO we just put on that choirs. It's given it a vibrance. So I reckon between that choir we just made and between the melody we've already got with the stereo imaging we've already done on the melody, I think those two are going to sound quite colourful together. something about that choir, we just need to make it a little bit more airy, little bit more subtle. I'm doing very good, thank you, Nubs Tonic, my bro. Have you been in the studio lately? How are you doing? I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Kikook Edit. Kikook Edit. How are you? How are you doing? I know what we're gonna do. I know how we're gonna get what I'm trying to do with that choir. This isn't a tool that is actually designed for this. Where is it? Fundamental Bass by WA Production. This tool is genius. So you can select a frequency range to make completely mono. You can make the rest stereo. So instead of us making this entire choir more stereo, we'll go to about 400 hertz, thereabouts. Make everything below that mono. Bring the stereo up a little bit in the high end with a little bit of drive. And let's see if I actually know what I'm talking about. I think all that needs is compression from here on. I don't think we need to spend too much time on that choir. That's what we wanted. I hear hi-hats. I hear hi-hats in my head. Shall we make them like a real life sound? It's no good if I just hear it, is it? I think I prepared this one here also for New Nation Audio. I'm trying to use as many New Nation Audio samples as I can today, because they're a fantastic company. Support the underdogs. One of the best sample pack companies in the game. Much better than some of the bigger sample packs on way better prices as well. So, New Nation Audio. The guy that runs the company is called Aaron. Stop in, say hi. So what I'm doing in here is velocity, which decides how hard the note is struck from a percussive sense. The reason that I like to alter velocities with hi-hat patterns is so that it sounds more human, more like a human is physically hitting the drum, because in a human environment, that hi-hat would not be hit with the exact same amount of velocity every time. So gives it a bit of flutteriness, makes it a bit more interesting to listen to the velocity of these yellow bars down the very bottom. So possibly onto drums next, which is exciting. So once we've got the drum pattern laid out, I can get into 808s. And that's the whole reason I'm here. That's the whole reason I woke up. Okay, so far so good with the hi-hats. We're definitely going to want to crash here after 16 bars, because that's probably where it's going to drop for the first verse. I can hear drums. I can hear drums on my head. That's a good start. Not sure if that's creativity or schizophrenia. So I made this kick earlier. Got a bit of duff to it. And these snare drums are, of course, from New Nation Audio. That key is completely wrong for that kick, so we'll change that in a second. Okay, that's working so far. Okay, we'll get into the transients of those drums a little bit, so they're fitting better in the mix before we complicate things any further. Speaking of which, we want rid of that low end once this drops, so... Actually, watch this. Ready? I'll set up a countering automation with the volume so that rises when we get that LFO going. Because we just lose a little bit of dynamics. This will be a cool beat, I think. I can't wait to put an 808 on this. I'm getting fired up for this one. Okay, pretty happy with that so far. We haven't done anything to that kick or snare yet. So I'm just going to tidy things up a little bit, because I know I'm going to get pretty excited once I'm doing this 808, so I'll just do a little bit of housework first. High pass the kick about 42. High pass the snare. Cut that out 300, 250. That snare, I reckon, for now. Let me just listen to these drums a sec. They're not even assigned. They're not even assigned, man. I made a channel rack for them. I didn't put them in it, did I? Okay. That's better. Snare needs, I'm guessing about 2. I think 1 to 2k is roughly, if I'm not wrong, which I often am, is roughly the sound of a human clap without it being digital. I think that's 1 to 2k. So in accentuating that, actually I'd rather do it with a proportional Q. We'll get a bit more into that. Q10 over here, because I know specifically that I'm looking for some sort of 1 to 2k. We'll try the 2k first. That'll have the highest sibilance. And pinch it like that at 2. See if that's made an audible difference. Yeah, it's not huge. It's not huge, but here is where it will make a difference, is when we then go on to shape its transient, which again probably is a waves job. You can't really look past Smack Attack, although Kashmir Essentials, also a very good transient tool for drums. About 12 on the attack, I'd say, and with it being a snare, we want that nice short duration. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I know why we're struggling with that. Is I've got a rim shot layer on this that already has an amazing transient on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to side chain the rim to this snare. Because this snare, honestly, it's a bit more of a clap. So we'll take that transient shaper off it. I'll side chain the rim to it. Like this. See what difference that makes. There it is. Make sure there's no cheeky low end in the rim. Our good friend Nova never fails us. See, look at all of this low end in that rim shot, guys. We don't want it. Get out. I'm actually gonna take a bit of that 18 to 20 EK off of that rim specifically as well. Alright. This is kind of, you know when you were a kid and you had to eat your vegetables first before you could have your dessert? This is just me just shaking to get into this 808, but I know that we need drum fundamentals first, and it will pay off in the long run. What do we want to do to that kick? We're just going to end up back inside the wave shell. It's just how it is. Just a little bit more thud on it. Get it. I'm not gonna clip it yet. I'm gonna clip it after we've made the 808. But I will limit that snare now. Nothing like a reversed crash cymbal for a little bit of emphasis by the juxtaposition of polarity. Sailor Moon, good afternoon. Last days of war. Hey, Baldy. Oh my goodness, we are having a party today. Big thank you once again to New Nation Audio for the samples and the MIDI today. This 808, for context, right now you probably can't hear it through. I don't know how much of that you can hear, but you're going to hear it when I'm finished with it, trust me. Anyone who is not actually very musical, like myself, all I did for this 808 pattern is, over here, from the same MIDI from New Nation Audio, shout out to Aaron, I took these lower sets of notes down here, and I built the 808 off that. So that's what you see in here. Inside where you've got these double ups of 808, that's just a really lazy way to shape the duration of the 808 itself. So you'll notice at the bottom with the velocity, like this is a velocity over here. These additional 808 notes here have no velocity underneath them. So what that does is it interrupts the signal. It cuts itself where I want it to. And then later on, I don't have that on, so this 808 is longer. There are a lot of different ways to do that. You can hear it a little. Okay. Well, prepare to hear it a lot, sir. I think we're ready. I think we're actually ready to get into this 808. So, I love a blank 808. I love an 808. It's just got a little bit of resonance to it. It's naturally, no processing on it yet. And I think it all starts with the Cymatics plugin. I'd have thought. If I'm going the Cymatics route, I like to feed Vortex into Diabolo. Show you what I mean. So I use Vortex to get a little bit of life out of it. Vortex has 4 settings. Essentially different elements of saturation and distortion, a little bit of both. I'll leave it on 100% so you can see exactly what we're doing. So we got a bit of a fuzz to it there. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. But that's a very basic plugin. There's just 4 settings to it. Color filter mix at the bottom. Diabolo is where it gets real. I'm terrified of this plugin sometimes. I'll look through the presets. I haven't got any presets of my own on here yet because I haven't been using it for long enough. Big bottom. You know me too well, Diabolo. Hang on. Ooh. I like the high end on that. I like what I'm hearing, boys. Get rid of the width. So we've built up enough resonance there. We've built up enough body within the frequencies of the 808, so that's where I take it and make it wish it never met me. Not in a predatory fashion. Check this one out. Thenaton, once again. This one's called Devil. I don't really approve from a religious perspective, but Holy Spirit keeps us safe. But just a little bit of this. Check this out. Oi. Oi. That's starting to sound a little bit more rude. Or we can make it more impolite still. As long as you're clever with your layering, you can add quite a lot of distortion and saturation to an 808. Little radiator, man. Even just the default preset with the noise turned off and the bias turned on is quite effective. Ah, stop it. Stop it! That's sounding crunchy. So what I'm trying to do with each layer of processing on the 808 is just push it up a little bit further, send it into the next part of the chain, push it up a little bit further. The mistake people make with 808, in my opinion, is just trying to apply an intense amount of distortion as one layer. And yeah, over the years, I've just learned to be a bit more methodical with it. If you want to throw that all out the window, however, if you just want a distortion that's absolutely abhorrent, this is Trash 2 by Isotope. It's not particularly new, but it holds its weight. We'll go into fuzz, and what do you reckon? Rectifier, mild excitement. Oh yeah. That is actually mild excitement. Nice. So, this 808 started, this is the unprocessed signal. And this is what we got now. Give me the excitement for don't push it. Yeah. Conservative. I still think we've got room for one more layer of abuse on that 808. Oh my goodness, boys. KTT killed the top compressor. I think we're all gonna regret this. This is an unnecessarily powerful plugin, which I absolutely love. Big up Sound Spear. Downwards will bring down, dry wet will bring down a lot. And see this exciter over here on the right? Don't even think about having that any higher than this. And my favorite feature of the plugin is this analog switch here for basses. Sensational. That might already be too much juice. Yo! So I definitely want that high-end presence, but we're losing the low. So instead of messing around within that plugin, I'm just going to come over here to the dry wet and apply the signal in a parallel fashion. Okay, that's sounding pretty naughty. Oh, I don't know what I just pushed on my computer. I think we're good. Yeah, we're still chilling. Easy. Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna come back. I'm probably gonna come back and abuse that 808 a little bit more later on. But for now, let's sidechain the kick to it. Oh, we're gonna want to sidechain the kick and the snare to it because of how much frequency space that has now. and let's hear it in the mix. Instant havoc on my CPU. Oh my days. Is it that last one? Is it that kill the top compressor? Oh, we need another kick in that pattern, don't we? Where was that 808 glide note? Here. That needs another kick underneath it. Get rid of that. Come in here. Lower the velocity a bit. Yes. We're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close to the end of this beat. What I like to do here, so we've laid out that first 8-bar section, is just to take it. I do this in most of my beats. Honestly, it's quite lazy. Like I'm not here to tell you guys that you have to produce beats in the most complex way possible, or to say not to use MIDI, not to use loops and samples. For the purpose of doing live streams, we're using MIDI and we're using samples and we're using loops sometimes just to actually talk through the production process. There is a difference between a producer and a musician, and if you're both, that's amazing. But at this point in time, we got that 8-bar section there, copied it, pasted it, and I'm probably, to be honest, just gonna cut out. We just have a few bars where we cut things out. So, for example, I'll probably pull the hi-hats away to over here, and the drums in 808 we can get rid of here, and probably bring back sort of around here just for a rough idea, just for a bit of a switch up, and it gives the rapper a lot more room and a lot more emphasis within a particular bar as well. So let's see how that sounds. I don't want that 808 over there, but proof of concept at least, you know what I mean? My CPU has had just about enough with the amount of processing I've done on that 808 while we're streaming. It's a pretty solid CPU as well. We'll cut that choir a little bit shorter over here as well for that switch up. Like, I don't know, here? Or all the way up to the snare, actually. I don't want that kick there anymore, come to think of it. Just trying to give the rapper some space to really deliver some impactful bars. And it just stops that repetition as well after that 8-bar point. There we go. I think we got room for a little bit of guitar. Same melody. So this might have something of a guitar in it somewhere, or at least a pluck. It's more of a transient space that I'm trying to take up. A bell would work, but yeah, we'll look into these. We'll look into these plucks. Okay, so something like that. So here's that same melody in that new instrument. I like that. It's very, very quiet, but I like it. That actually works quite well on the on that choir rack that we got going on the mixer. It's kind of sounding 8-bit. It's kind of sounding like a little bit Nintendo. Do you reckon? The whole point in all of that is that I'm hoping to fill up a little bit of sonic space in the drop. So let's see how we did. From the top, I guess. Oh, thank you for the likes, guys. Just about to wrap this session up. Yeah, I'm glad we added that. That's fire, bro. I want more of a crack on that snare. And I think, if anything, it's probably going to come from the rim that I sidechain to it. There we go. Yeah. Sorry about all the latency and the crackling we're getting through, guys. My CPU is not impressing me. I reckon it's all in the 808. Like, watch. If I turn the processing off on the 808, I bet my CPU doesn't care. It's got no problem at all. But you can't hear the 808. I've put this 808 through so much violence today that my CPU's rejecting me. Well, I'm about to jump off anyway. We'll play this from the beginning. I'm going to take all the distortion and everything off the 808 just so we can actually hear it properly. And yo, I'm aiming to have this out for duet for you guys tomorrow on my page and on my website for sale, m43beats.store. Man, this one has been a journey. The Stephen Hawking of rap. Oh shit. that'll conclude it for today. Anyone in the chat have a name for that beat? I have no idea what to call that beat. I'm probably gonna drop it tomorrow on my website. Probably put it up for duet as well. But yeah, no idea. No idea what to name it. No pressure or anything. I'll just sit here silently while you think. Think of a name! Yeety McBeaty. You know what? You know what? You made an effort. You made an effort and I respect you for it, Moldy Flaps. You're about as good at choosing beat names as you are usernames. Jeez Louise. Who even is that? No, I appreciate you for stopping by. Alright, good stuff, guys. Yeah, no, that was cool. Big thank you to New Nation Audio for most of those samples and for the MIDI. Dubby.gg, 10% off with code M43Beats. Every platform, M43Beats, website, M43Beats.store. Hopefully there's a banner down there that says that stuff. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I had a damn good time, and I love you for joining me. You take care, cheers, guys.